Hey, and welcome back to the Relationship School's Smart Couple Podcast. I'm your host, Jayson Gaddis, and I am happy to be here with you right now. This podcast is for you if you like to grow and develop yourself in the context of life, and more specifically in the context of relationships, because relationships show you exactly where your work is, right? Where you need to grow and develop. And that place is usually where you get upset, where you shut down, where you dissociate, where you blame. That's often the place where we need a little help, okay? This podcast is designed to help you there and to help you successfully navigate the inevitable challenges with other human beings. Would you not agree that people like you and everywhere you look have a hard time working things out? Just watch TV, listen to the news, or just look at your own relationship, past relationship, your family relationships. People have a hard time here. So I'm on a mission to help you and other people work out their differences and have fulfilling long-term relationships. Now, one of the key hallmarks of people who succeed here is the ability and willingness to work through conflict. People who have successful long-term relationships have embraced conflict. Period. End of sentence. End of story. We could stop there. Okay, we're done. All right, next episode. No. That is just true in myself, in you, and in other people, that when we embrace conflict and we learn how to do it well, it's going to lead us to a more fulfilling relationship life. And it might lead us to taking better care of ourselves, ending certain relationships, starting new ones with people that can actually hang with us, and people that want to stay in relationship with us to work it out. Okay? So as you know, the Embracing Conflict Weekend is now live in terms of registration. So you can register now to come to Boulder, Colorado. It's a buy one, get one half price. So if you want to bring a spouse, a partner, someone you're dating, and you want to set the stage correctly from the start, I recommend coming. You can also be single. You can be divorced. You can be widowed. If you want to learn how to work through tough stuff with other human beings, this is the place to do it. Embracing conflict, all right? And we're doing a contest to Smart Couple podcast listeners that want to come for basically for free. And my version of free is you got to pay $100, which puts skin in the game, and it has you invest a little bit so that you don't flake out on us. It says, hey, I threw $100 down. I'm going to come to this weekend. All right. For everyone else, it's an early bird special right now. So the retail price is $7.99. If you bring your spouse, it's $3.99 for them. So you basically are getting two of you to come for the price of 1.5. All right. So you're getting a big deal if you come with a friend or lover or partner. So I strongly recommend you find someone in the Smart Couple Facebook group or a fellow Roots community member, or bring your partner and say, honey, would you like to come to this? I think we're going to probably learn some things because we don't do a good job of working out stuff with each other. Hey, speaking of honey, my honey is going to be there. That's right. Ellen is going to be there live in person. If you want to meet her, if you want to hang out, she's coming in to help me teach the interpersonal neurobiology section of this class and why the nervous system, the human nervous system, is so essential. If we're talking about conflict, we have to talk about the brain and the nervous system. Okay, so this is very deep stuff and stuff that is science-backed, and I think you're going to find it really, really useful. All right, you're going to get a really good download on how to successfully navigate conflict with another person. I mean, think of the price this is worth. If you could learn a skill, one skill in life that deals with other people, to me, this would be it. How to work out differences with other human beings. Now, if you want to just hang out with your friend crowd and have a fantasy that you're always going to you're never going to have problems with other people, this course is not going to appeal to you. But if you're a realist and you're like, yeah, relationships are hard sometimes, and I have my friends who we never really fight, but then we get into a snag at work, or I get into a snag with my intimate partner or my family over the holidays, this is the skill that's going to help you go to the next level in yourself. Okay, at the very end of this podcast, I'm going to share some details on how to play in the contest. All right. So you've got to listen through to the end of this podcast if you want the deets on how to apply for the contest. And it involves a selfie video. And you got to be a member of the Smart Couple group, all right, on Facebook, which is free to join. So if you're in, listen to the end, and I'll tell you how to come here for $100. And we're only going to select a few. And you might win some coaching with me, some private coaching with me. You might also win a course, and you might win a gift certificate into our store. So you can get yourself a love hat, a relationship hoodie, something like that, okay? All right. In this episode, I'm interviewing 4 incredible women who have transformed their relationships. All right, these are 4 women who invested time, money, and energy into learning how to do relationships better. And it's really straightforward. I'm going to just talk to them. I'm going to ask some questions. None of this was scripted. This was an impromptu conversation. I said, hey, will you guys, I just said to the relationship school community, I said, who would like to come be interviewed on the podcast and talk about their experience openly? And these 4 women stepped up and said, I will. And our schedules worked out so we could have a conversation. So this is our intimate conversation, and I was surprised, honestly. I know in my heart this course changes lives, but I didn't quite expect some of the responses I got here. So if you are a person who's considering the relationship school now, we start in 2 weeks, so time's running out, or in the future, you're going to want to listen to this, okay? This is personal transformation results right here, right now. Okay, they're going to talk about the limitations of therapy and how a course like this is worth 10x what they paid for it. Okay, so just, listen and check it out, and then stay tuned to the end if you want to sign up or if you want to play our fun contest to come to the Embracing Conflict weekend here in Boulder, Colorado. All right, folks, let's dive in. I want to welcome 4 amazing students, possibly 5. We might have another joining us from the Relationship School. Welcome, everybody.
Thanks, Jayson.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to introduce you guys in a minute, but we'll just start with a quick check-in. What are you feeling right now? Just one word, just being here right now. We just did a little meditation. What's the word that comes to mind right now?
Peaceful.
I'm excited.
I'm stoked. I'm really inspired.
And Catherine, will you say yours again?
Peaceful.
Peaceful, cool. All right. So again, I'm grateful for your time and grateful for you all being here to share your experience. What we're about to do is just have a conversation really about you and how you've transformed in the relationship school, why you signed up, and what it's doing for you currently. So first, though, I just want to get the listener to get to know you briefly. So let's do, a minute or so of your bio. Like, who are you? What's your first name, relationship status, and where you live, age, kids, no kids, that kind of thing, pets, whatever, but keeping it to like a minute or less. So anyone can start.
This is Margot. I can start.
Okay.
My name is Margot, and I'm 50 years old. I'm divorced. I've been divorced for about 10 years. I have 3 kids, 3 boys, twins who are 16 and one who's 13. And I've been in a new relationship of about 5 months. And the reason why I joined the relationship school is that after my divorce, I had a history of just bad relationships, and I figured out that I was the common denominator in all of them and wanted to figure out how to do it better, because I had a few train wrecks and then a few that just were not going anywhere, and wanted to figure out how to do it right.
Awesome. Welcome, Margot. And where do you live currently?
I am in Vermont.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Just so people can locate you. Excellent. Who's next?
I'll go next. My name's Kelly. I'm 55 years old. I currently have 3 teenagers living in my house. One's 18 and the twins are 17, turning 18 in the middle of February. And that was part of my inspiration for joining the relationship school. Jayson talks about how he wants to teach the next generation, and I'm all over that. I was in marriage with someone I'd been with for 10 years when I started listening to Jayson's podcasts in the hopes of steering that relationship in the right direction. And I got so excited about the tools and the programs, and I'm probably going to be divorced here in the next few weeks, but I'm really hopeful for my future. I was really remembering where I was in August when we just did our nester, and the growth I have experienced with these tools is just been phenomenal. I'm learning so much, and the tools are so foundational and so straightforward that I'm able to teach them as well. So I'm just feeling blessed.
Thanks, Kelly. And where do you live?
I'm in Canada, British Columbia.
Great. Thanks.
I can jump in here. I'm Denise Samanchian, live in a little town in Wisconsin, Viroqua, and I am 43 years old. I've been married for 13 years. I have a couple of kids, a boy who's 11 and a girl who's 8. And I joined the relationship school the first year that it started. So I'm in my second year now. And the reason I joined is I just had a story running for so long that I really sucked at relationships. I sucked at conflict. I sucked at getting grounded. And, you know, I was blessed to marry a man who does all of these things that at least I was perceiving better than me. So I had a lot of opportunity to self-criticize and judge. And it just got to be not okay anymore. And that was right when Jayson announced the start of the school and really called to me. And yeah, I could list a million things that I've gotten out of it. And I'm just super, super stoked with how it's unfolding in my life.
Awesome. And Denise is back on the podcast here. She's in episode 154 with her husband, if you want to listen more on their relationship and their transformation. Okay, cool. Next.
My name's Catherine. I am 35. I am currently in a committed relationship, but I joined the relationship school after the demise, a very painful demise of a previous relationship. And I just noticed patterns in myself, things that I didn't know how to fix. I'd been through therapy, and this has really been a blessing. My life has really changed in the last several months since starting this, and I am in Utah.
Ah.
Cool. Thanks, Catherine. Yeah, home state. What's up, Utes? Utah? All right. Awesome intros. And I want to get a little deeper here as we go. You all sort of weaved in why you joined the school. And let's take that another step. Paint more of a picture for us who you were 6 months ago, or for you, Denise, a couple of years ago. You mentioned self-criticism. Some of you mentioned feeling, insecure, maybe incompetent. Give us a little more flavor of who you were pre-relationship school.
This is Margot. For me, previous to now, I was a person who would go into a relationship, and I sort of felt like in some areas of my life, I felt really good about myself, and in relationship, I didn't feel like I was worthy enough, I guess, to state my needs and to have my needs met. So I always sort of subordinated my needs and interests and wants and stuff to my partner. And then I got really resentful, and then, that obviously didn't go well with my partner. And I just got into a couple really bad relationships that I stayed in because I didn't have enough confidence in myself that I could get somebody who would fill my needs. And was just a series of bad relationships. And it's funny because I signed up for this course when I had just gotten out of another bad relationship, or not just, but about 6 months prior. And I was just feeling bad about, not getting what I wanted out of life. And I signed up for this course, and just following that, I met somebody. So I've been with my current partner throughout the duration of this course. And it's just been so phenomenal of an experience to go through this new relationship, also with all these new tools, and how different it is from every past relationship I've had. It's just the most phenomenal thing. It's really
Cool.
just terrific.
And I want to get into some of those kind of maybe specifics here in a minute, but I just want to hear from everybody in terms of who you were before. So that's great. Thanks, Margot.
I'll go next. I am always learning. I've got a penchant for learning. I've always picking up a book and trying to grasp the concept and incorporate it in my life. And I felt that I had a strong foundation for making relationships healthy and work. And I was my entire career was around communication. I have just retired after 25 years in a communication field.
And you thought you knew how to communicate, right?
I thought I did. I really did. I thought I did until I met you.
Yeah. What was it about? Like, it's so funny because so many people claim, we all know how to communicate, of course, but especially communications people that like major in that and study that. Why was that not working in your relationship?
Because I was with somebody that was disagreeable and had lots of triggers, and so when you're triggering someone,
like when you got triggered, just talk about yourself. When you got triggered.
Well, when I got triggered, I wasn't in my frontal lobe anymore, so I wasn't able to. I freeze.
Yeah.
And
so the skills go out the window. Those communication skills
go out the window. Skills go out the window. And then I was, asking for time out, and that was kicking in their, that made them freak out.
Yeah, triggering him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to understand you a little more here, because I'm guessing you still get triggered, right? And you still lose connection with the front part of your brain. So in a minute, I want to explore what's different now, because obviously all of us, we get triggered, and no matter how good your skills are, you're going to shut down, you're going to freeze, you're going to do your thing that the nervous system does. But maybe there's something that's a little different now. So I'm curious in a minute to hear about that.
Okay.
And how about you guys, Denise and Catherine, pre-relationship school?
I can chime in here. This is Denise. So I've been blessed to have been in a pretty good marriage for a long time. Both feet were in the door. There was no threat of anyone leaving. However, man, we would fight a lot, and we wouldn't know how to resolve things. And so they would just keep coming up over and over. And our house I was blaming a lot. I was angry a lot. And I was really critical of myself. And it was, just got to be to this point where I just knew my husband and I had kind of started down a path of personal growth many years prior. And even with the work that we were doing independently, coming together, we were still struggling. I especially was struggling.
Mm-hmm.
I needed some practical tools. I needed just some strategies to ground myself. So that was where I was at prior to the school.
Cool. Thanks, Denise.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine?
Prior to the school, I was in a bad place. Breakup of a relationship that meant everything to me, and then prior year of some really awful things happening in my career, and a family that's pretty verbally and emotionally abusive. So my self-worth was pretty much in the toilet. Confident in a few things, but deep down inside, I didn't have a lot of hope. It was just kind of getting by day by day, and hoping that somehow the end would come soon. It was a very dark place before the school.
Wow. And why did you all not choose therapy or counseling or some traditional route like that? Or maybe you did, but I'm just curious, like why not choose just go to a therapist or go to a women's group or something versus this? Like what had you decide? I want to understand that.
So Jayson, Denise, oh, is that all right,
No,
Mark?
go ahead.
So we did do therapy. Like I was in a women's group. I did plant medicine over and over, and I read a gazillion books, and still when shit hit the fan, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to regulate my intense emotions. And so it was just cycling over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you just started sharing your mission, it just really aligned with what I was really needing.
If I can jump in with that, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I'd been to therapy multiple times, different therapists, and nothing in my life had changed. It's like, I'm 35 years old. I've got to change something. And this was different.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been different.
Yeah.
And that really resonates with me. We were in therapy, and I would sit there and the whole hour would be filled up with what I was doing wrong. And the therapist would point out, but you can't talk like that, and you need to take some responsibility, and here's some tools to do this a different way. And we'd walk out of the office and not even be in the vehicle yet, and the patterns and the behavior and the terminology were being repeated. So like it was water off a duck's back, or like wasted money.
Yeah. For me, it was like, I have been to a couple different therapists as well. And I got through some stuff from my past in those, and I got somewhere with them. But my patterns didn't change. I recognized some stuff about myself that I hadn't before, but my patterns never changed. Like nothing was different. Nothing was changing in my life because of it. And I grew up in a family who, don't let the world see your problems. And so for me, going to therapy was such a big deal, and that didn't help. So then I thought, well, solve your own problems. That's what I was always taught. Solve your own problems. So here I am, looking online to solve my own problems. And I really saw your stuff and resonated with it. What I didn't know is just how good it would be, or whatever. I sort of just, this looks like something I might be able to do, and maybe I'll get something out of it. But boy, oh boy, had no idea. And wow, it's
Cool.
dramatically changed my life.
I feel happy when I hear that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of us get that message, right? The therapy's bad, or why are you doing that? I definitely, when I first entered therapy, my parents were like, what? Like, no kid of ours is going to go to therapy, because that then might mean there's something not okay here in the family, and we don't want to look at that. And I really upset my family when I enrolled in therapy. So I can relate. And what is it about this school's setup that's working for you guys? Like, why is it working? Tell us about, for you personally, what is it about the structure or framework that's making it more doable or something?
Well, it fits into my life really well. I'm an active person, and the time frame, getting together during the day, having our class for an hour and a half, and then I can do the homework when I've got the time to do the homework, whether it's 11 o'clock at night or meeting with someone on the phone when we're both available. It's really functional.
I think the tools are more applicable and maybe more real because we have accountability and we're practicing them. It's a lot different than a therapist giving you a piece of paper and saying, try this out. We actually have to dig in and kind of understand the why underneath the tools and not just be given a sheet of paper that we'll probably toss into a stack of paper with our mail or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's true for me too, is the accountability, the 2-week time period for each class. Like, it just seems like, okay, we have a class, we have some homework, we need to have a partner call, we have a small group call. Like, it feels like there's enough, but not too much that you need to do, but you practice everything. And instead of going to a counselor and then you say, oh, try this, but you never really do because you're not particularly accountable to anybody other than, you go next time and you sort of, I sort of tried it. But this, you actually do practice all of the tools, and it just seems like it's so applicable to life, and it's exactly your own stuff, and you figure out how to use the tools in your own life. It just works for me.
Yeah.
This is Denise. Just to add to that, what I find really works for me, one is it's not a short thing. This is a 9-month deep dive. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of time for the material to really go deep and to practice a lot. And during those 9 months, real community is formed. And I've been in real conflict with members, other classmates, 3 or 4 times. And to be able to then sit down, pull out the tools and move all the way through it has been incredibly helpful. And I paid good money for this. So I'm really invested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to scare off anyone who doesn't want to make that level of commitment, right?
Yeah.
But you guys, it seems like you all see the power of that kind of commitment when you invest that much time, money, and energy. Look at your lives, right?
Absolutely.
I think the other thing
Maybe you guys
too
could speak
is
to that. What's that?
I think the other thing too is you're with a community of people, all of whom want to do this and want to be in this and want your success and their success. And so you have to, you're there with people who challenge you and work the tools, the same tools. So, yeah.
I was going to also say part of that community is also the real-time support when you're in the thick of something. Yeah, it's just a Facebook group, but we can pop on there and within 20 or 30 minutes, you have at least one reply and somebody who says, look, I hear you. And it kind of helps you regulate and work through it more constructively. So you have that support. And I would say, I feel like we have our own tribe, and that support in that community makes a lot of difference for me.
Mm-hmm.
And Kelly here, I just want to say that when you live in a home full of teenagers that are so wrapped up in their own world, you don't come out of that feeling heard. And then when you come out of a marriage not feeling heard, and then you connect with a partner call, and it makes you have goosebumps and you feel so connected with that person because they're using LUFU and you're feeling heard, that you don't want the call to end because you are connected, soul connected, because they're using these tools that you're both just learning, and it is like a gift.
Yeah, I want to, can I say something about you, Kelly?
Yes.
I talked to one of your friends the other day, and she had said how amazing it was that she's like, yeah, I've been friends with Kelly for many years, and
30.
I can't, how many?
30.
30 years. And she said,
30
Kelly
years.
used to not
30 years.
Kelly used to not be able to listen to me. And now I'm interested in the relationship school because I finally feel heard.
Yeah.
That was like the most powerful testimonial. I was like, what? Wow. So I just want to just applaud you for that. It was just so random to actually be speaking with a person who was appreciating you and your level of and ability to listen.
Well, that was the best Christmas present of all, was having that interview with those two people here in my home. It was like the most amazing gift.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. What else? Like, what can you guys speak to a tangible? Because the listener might be like, yeah, but okay, it sounds all nice, but like, what's actually different in your life? What's like I just gave an example, say with Kelly. What's another example from your life that is actually different? And some of you, Denise, you've done this now a year, and then you're a year and a half in. You're half of a year into the RC1 program, the coaches program, but for halfway through, wherever you're at, whether it's a year and a half or just 6 months or so, what's different?
I'm able to control my emotions a lot better, both at work and in my personal life. A lot more calm, better able to deal with my family members. And the biggest thing for me is being able to not self-abandon, to stand up for my needs.
Mm. Yeah, that's a big one, right? The needs and standing up for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, standing in your power, knowing that you have that worth and that your voice is valid.
Mm.
That's very similar to my experience as well. I was never able to articulate it, particularly in the moment or shortly after a conflict, like how I felt, what the impact of it was, and how to resolve it in that moment. It sort of all built up and built up and built up and then exploded. And now I can articulate it in the moment, how that person is impacting me, and we can work through it. And it's so much more of a relief to get things cleared in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
The other thing, one other quick thing is, I didn't expect that it would help my relationship with my kids.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, the relationship with my kids and how to work through things with them. Wow. I didn't expect that. And that has been phenomenal too. Just amazing.
Wow. That warms my heart hearing that.
Yeah. I can really resonate with that. Like, I have a connection with I've got the twins. One of them's gregarious and outgoing and outspoken and out there doing every sport and everything. And then I've got one that comes home and goes in his room. And the connection that him and I have been able to make with these tools has just been worth every dime times 10. Because he's looking me in the eye and staying at the table, and we played a game last night together for hours and just connected. And it's just, I can't explain what a gift that is, you know? And it's just because I'm hearing them.
Yeah.
You guys are going to get me all emotional here. It's really sweet to hear that.
Yeah, this is Denise. I'm a parent too, and I've had huge benefits on that level. I can really relate to what you're saying. And, the other really big piece for me is, my primary relationship with my husband. We still fight. I wouldn't say that even the conflict has gone down, but the way that we do it is so much more loving. And we move all the way through, even if it takes a while. And I didn't even know what I was missing out on before. Now, like when and it is not fun. I'm not going to say this is a good time, but we move all the way through to the point where I feel really understood. He feels understood. And on the other end, I'm in this place where I'm like, oh my God, this is who Denise is. I know so much more about who I am, why I work the way that I work, and what my needs are, and just how to care for myself.
Yeah, powerful. It's amazing how many people will be in a relationship where they just never get to completion. And then another fight happens and you don't get to completion. And then years go by and you've got a mountain of uncompleted things that just aren't finished. And it's really painful.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're getting that, because it does make the world of difference when you come into your own home and the vibe is like clean and clear and you feel safe in your own home and you feel connected. It's like, it's a really beautiful feeling.
Yeah. And we're going into territory that we haven't gone into yet. You know, we've been doing a lot of work, so it's good stuff.
Awesome. Do you guys have a favorite tool that has come out of the training, or something that you personally have a strong connection with that you just want to share real quick?
Do you know this is my favorite tool, and it's the absolute hardest one for me to do, is to just own my part. But no other tool even matters if I don't come from a place of like just owning where I've played a part here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so powerful. Simple and yet so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For me, it's LUFU.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely LUFU. I am a horrible listener and I'm still very much working on it.
And LUFU, can you explain to the listener in case they don't know what that is, Catherine?
Yes, listen until they feel understood. And that's just making sure that the other person feels that you have heard them and that you're present with them, so that their experience of you is more positive and you can work through that conflict because the other person feels heard.
Yeah. Game changer, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the two tools that I was going to say, the LUFU and the sharing impact, and putting those two things together and just sharing how a person impacts me, but also then listening till they feel understood about why they're acting the way they are, has just made things open up, and I understand things better, and it makes it so much less charged, I think, in a situation of conflict.
Indeed.
So I have to say that probably the biggest game changer for me had to be fracking. I was the fixer in everybody comes to me, fix this. So fracking for me was the biggest one. So don't fix it, don't rescue, don't control, don't kill their experience. That was a big one. So that to me is,
And the A, what's the A? Anybody? A?
Advice giving.
Don't give any advice. And,
and then C?
At 55, I've seen it and done it all,
And what's C?
C is no complaining.
Great. So give us a little context for fracking, Kelly, or someone, just why that matters, because you just sort of unpacked your experience of it, but just for the listener that may not know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, I do a lot of things with a lot of ladies. I ride with them, I hike with them, I snowshoe with them, so I'm with in big groups. So you walk and you talk and you hike and you talk so I was always quick to give advice, and then they were quick to go and walk with another person. So now I use, when you say that, I feel, and I'm making some really strong connections with these ladies now, and doing other things with them and being more involved with each other's lives rather than just the walking group and the snowshoeing group and the biking group. And it's really enriched my life.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And guys, why is the fracking thing such a big deal, I think, in either an intimate partnership or life? I mean, you're giving us a great example of it. But like, if we zoom out even further, like why does this stuff matter? Like
it's a pillar to connection. When I'm in a place where I'm really wanting to feel understood and someone fracks me in any of those different ways, I just feel shut down. I don't even want to keep trying
Yeah.
to work towards connection anymore.
Yeah, this is a big one when we're, I don't know if you guys noticed this with I don't know if you had any friends as you started in the relationship school and you started to get this stuff, how you started to see other people doing it. Did that happen at all?
Yeah.
Like when I started on the growth path and I was going to a lot of therapy, all my old friends were it was nonstop advice coming my way.
Yeah.
Well, what's wrong with you? Well, maybe you should do this and maybe you should do that. And it was just like, I wanted eventually nothing to do with these people, right? Because I felt so unseen and so unheard and like I didn't have any space, right? To actually just talk about my experience. So the no fracking thing's a big one. And we did a podcast on that. I'll include in the show notes.
Okay.
Covered a whole podcast on that.
That's good.
Cool. And then anyone else, just real quick, and then I've got another question for you.
I think too, it almost sort of devalues another person to do it. Like they can't handle their own stuff. It doesn't allow them to grow. Like if you're coming in to rescue them, it's as if they need rescuing and they can't handle it themselves. And that's kind of insulting to them. I mean, I know I feel insulted somewhat when somebody tries to rescue me or fix me or advice give. Like I feel like something's wrong with me, and to do that to somebody else, like there's something wrong with you. Well, there's nothing wrong with them, and it doesn't allow them to feel good about themselves and to solve their own stuff, you know.
Yeah, really
Not
well
very
said,
loving.
Margo. Yeah, it's fun to kind of just listen to you all and get kind of how you're grasping the material. It's really nice over here. Just like, wow, I feel inspired. Needs, just, we're going to start winding down, but I'm curious. What's that, Catherine?
I was just laughing.
Yeah, I was.
Needs. Will you guys say something about what you're learning about needs? Because this is a big one that kind of is underground. Like a lot of people actually, for some reason, even in the personal growth space, don't talk about needs.
Well, I can start with this one. I'm honestly embarrassed to get to my age and had to learn what they were.
Me too.
You know, like that was just profound. That class was profound. Like how is that possible?
Yeah.
To not even know what they were. So how can you have two whole marriages and not even state what your needs are? So it was like, no wonder, no wonder they didn't work.
Yeah.
So I'm stating my needs all over the place now.
Yeah. Damn it. Cool.
Yeah. I've got teenagers with eyes like this and mouths hanging open going, you want what?
Needs. Yeah. Anyone else on needs? Comment?
Yeah, that I have them and that it's okay to have them. You know, I had a mother who, if I had any type of need at all, it was, you're a horrible child and, you know, you're ruining my life and I can't do anything because of you. And so I just kind of learned to bury it deep, deep down, and a lot of self-abandonment. And, you know, it's hard to really put into words because I'm still discovering them. I'm still finding them. That's, I wouldn't say I'm on the other side. There's a lot of self-discovery still going on, but at least knowing some of them and being able to stand up for them is really empowering and life-changing. And if you've been in a similar situation where, you know, people have told you your whole life that what you need and what you want does not matter, it makes you feel so small. And it's nice to kind of feel like I have value and it's okay to stand up for it.
Totally. And can I challenge you a little bit? Cool. So just notice the language there, right? It makes you feel.
I feel.
Yeah. When?
Yes. When people treat you as if your needs are unimportant, I feel small.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. and that's what we do here, right? Like if we're on a partner call and that's going on, I'm going to be your partner and I'm going to say, time out, Catherine, like, hold on, let's take more responsibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we look, because think about it, guys, we're in 20, 30, 40 years of habit around you make me feel. And even though it's, it's okay to say that, it actually does cause harm and damage in a relationship. I mean, it's like, it's okay, but it's not the best thing, and it's less effective because it puts me on the defensive, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the kind of thing we do in the moment in the school here, and that was an example.
And I catch myself sometimes, and sometimes I don't. It becomes such an ingrained communication pattern, and that's the other thing that's so amazing about this school, is getting that awareness of that communication pattern. Maybe not all the time, but 85% of the time.
Yeah. And with more awareness, we have more choice. So exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I resonate with both of those. One is, what were my needs? I didn't think I had any. Now I realize I have some, and it's okay to have some, because I was taught, just suck it up and deal all your life. Don't have needs. Don't need me or whatever. And I've recognized that to some extent I taught that to my kids, like, suck it up and deal. Don't have needs, and I felt some guilt about teaching that, but now I can turn that around and not undo some of that teaching. And so hopefully they won't repeat some of my life,
Yeah, and you just living the way you are right now, just as you are even in this moment, that's the greatest teaching you're going to give those kids, is they're getting a different transmission now, which is really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and as a man, needs for me we're way underground, and it's women and men have their own relationship to needs, and we all do. It's a spectrum, but it's really cool also to watch the men in the course take responsibility for their needs. It's like you said, you were saying, Kelly, it's like, I'm embarrassed that I'm this old and I haven't known my needs. I would say to you, that makes sense. And it's really normal, because the culture at large teaches men and women, boys and girls, like, I don't need anything. I'm here for you. Or I just don't need anything. Like, I'm cool. So it's one of my favorite parts of the course so far this fall has been the needs stuff, because there's been so many people having big breakthroughs and insights there, like you guys. Thanks. All right. We're winding down. Last maybe comment or two here. I just want to get your stamp of approval that we're getting here further, which is just, what would you say to a person who's listening with a lot of attention, like, oh my gosh, okay, this is me and this could really benefit me. What advice would you give? Now we're going to frack, permission to frack here. Advice or a tip or suggestion to make to someone who's listening that's maybe scared or on the fence or thinking about coming to the relationship school someday.
You're going to get as much out of it as you put into it. I was reluctant at first to reach out and make partner calls, but the more I make, the more I learn.
Nice.
Yeah, this is Denise. I would just say, like for me, what really came up during that long hesitation before I made the call was a ton of fear, absolute fear. And I just want to say that that's probably all of us, most of us came into this feeling pretty afraid. And what I'm learning about myself is my fear really tells me what matters a lot. And yeah, just taking the leap and just trusting your gut.
Cool. Thank you.
I love that one, Denise. The fear tells you what really matters. Wow, love that.
Yeah.
That's what I have found to be true over and over, at least in this line of work. There's other places where fear has got a whole different operation, but.
Sure. What else?
For me, what I would say is, if you're afraid of spending the amount of money that it costs, because it is a significant investment. And that for me was like, ooh, do I really want to shell out that amount of money? I would say it is worth 10 times that. I can't tell you how much I have learned out of it. I would spend every dime 10 times over to do it again. Yeah, I think it's fabulous.
Well,
And you're only halfway through.
That's what I was just thinking, Jayson. I was like, they have no idea. There's still another half.
Yeah.
and if you broke that amount down into counseling sessions, and how many books we've picked up and how many different things we've tried in our lifetime, it's nothing. You know, like how many counseling sessions is that? 10. Right? How many people have had 10 sessions, and are you better after those 10 sessions?
Not to mention the emotional cost of not doing it and just continuing on your life, and all of the emotional toll it takes on you for not knowing this stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So worth it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So worth it.
I want to echo what Margot said. If you're on the fence, just do it. You know, there's always been a stigma in my family about counseling, and, you know, we don't talk about emotions and we don't talk about relationships. And if I even bring it up, we had a blowout at Christmas when I just asked my family if they would help me with the homework assignment. And you know what, though? My life has changed. It used to be when something happened negative relationally, I just felt this dark cloud hanging over me and there was no hope. And now when something happens relationally, there might be a dark cloud, but there's a rainbow on the other side, because I know I can work through it. I know that there's more. I know that there is something better. And to me, whether you're in a relationship or not, this is more than just an intimate relationship course. It has helped with work. It has helped with my family. It has helped with my friends. It helps in every area of your life.
Mhm.
And I've been blessed my whole life with amazing friends, and my family is good despite how much I've ragged on them here. But to any listener, if you are on the fence, I can't even put into words. I'm tearing up a little bit. It has absolutely turned my life around 180. And I have hope.
Wow. Thank you. I love that rainbow metaphor. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Wow. Any last comments before we stop?
It's addictive. Whenever
It
we
is
learn
addictive.
It
It's
is.
addictive.
Whenever we learn a new tool, I can't wait to learn the next one.
Yeah. Awesome.
And I use it every day, every single day.
Yeah, me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
Awesome. Okay, ladies, thank you so much. It's been a real treat just listening and understanding the impact. I actually wasn't prepared for this in everything you shared. I'm impacted over here. I'm like, wow. So I wasn't expecting that, and that's really a beautiful surprise. So thanks for touching me today that way.
Awesome.
Jayson, thank you so much for doing what you're doing.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It's life-changing.
Mhm.
It is life-changing.
It
And
is.
You're
you
a
are
blessing.
Yeah.
changing the lives of the kids too,
Yeah.
which I know is your goal. You're changing my kids for sure.
Yeah, mine too.
Cool. Well, we're just getting warmed up here.
Rock on, man. Can't wait to see
Okay,
you.
everybody. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye,
All right.
Denise. Bye, Catherine. Bye, Margot.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, powerful words from people just like you who invested time, money, and energy to transform how they do relationships. Super powerful. Okay, your action step is to write down a relationship goal right now. Perhaps the relationship school, coming to the relationship school is a goal. And then the second thing is an action step on how you're going to do that. So your goal, write down a goal, relationship goal, and then how you're going to achieve it. Okay? And ideally, one baby step is great. You don't need to create a list of 25 things you're going to do. One baby step that's as specific and concrete as possible. Okay? Awesome. And then finally, I always like to challenge you to share that with one other person so you can be seen in your goals. If you keep your goals behind closed doors, have you noticed that they usually don't happen if they're in private? I mean, that's true for most of us. Okay, here is the contest details. If you want to come to the Embracing Conflict Weekend here in Boulder, Colorado, February 9th, 10th, and 11th, 2018, this is what you do. You're going to record a video of yourself, selfie video with your phone, and you're going to do three things. You're going to list the most triggering behavior your partner or past partner does that upsets you. They raise their voice, they slam doors, they call me names, they shut down, whatever it is. And then 2, how you normally deal with that. I run away, I hide, I shut down, I blame, okay? And then number 3, what your question is about how to do it better. Okay, you're going to pack those 3 things into a 1-minute video. Then you're going to upload that video to some kind of URL link or Dropbox or Google Drive, and you're going to send it to info@relationshipschool.net with the subject line contest. All right, contest. And you've got to get those in by a certain date. I will mention that date in a minute, but in order to qualify, there's a couple requirements, okay? You got to be able to fly here to Boulder, Colorado, or live in the area. So you got to factor that in. If I win, okay, then I got to be willing to throw down and come to Colorado, all right? And we're not paying for that part, all right? Someday we will fly someone out here, but this contest, we're not. 2, it's basically a free admission. So it's $1,000 in value for you to come to this for basically free. And I say basically because I'm going to ask that you pay $100, non-refundable $100. That's all you have to pay. Everyone else has to pay $1,000 or $500, whatever their fee is, if they're bringing a friend or not. That forces you to put skin in the game, right? And then number 3 requirement, you have not won anything before, okay? You can't have won before to qualify here. And then number 4, you've got to be a member of the private Smart Couple Facebook group. And here's the thing, if you win the first place, the first prize, we'll say, you get to bring a friend for half price. So you get the half price deal. You get to come for $100 and they come for $3.99 is the early bird, or $4.99 is the non-early bird, okay? Pretty good deal, guys. 2 of you could come here for basically $500, $600. That is ridiculous value, right? Versus paying $2,000 for 2 of you to come. I really want you to come. I really want you to try, put yourself out there. By you just entering this contest, it's a statement to the universe. I care about relationships. I'm going to make them better in my own life, all right? You're putting your heart into this universe and saying, I want this, versus sitting on the sidelines hoping, okay? This is another action step you're taking to improve your relationship life here. And the video can't be longer than a minute. And what's the deadline? Let's see, this comes out the 17th. So let's have the deadline be Sunday the 21st at midnight. By Sunday the 21st at midnight, your video needs to be in, because we want to announce this. We'll announce it as soon as we figure it out on the 22nd, but we'll announce it on the next podcast on the 24th, most likely. But we will personally email you so you can make travel plans if you win, all right? And second prize is going to be $200 towards any relationship course you want of ours, all right? It could be Relationship as a Path, End Your Struggle with Him. It could be the Indestructible Partnerships course. Could be, you could put it towards the Relationship School Roots community for a few months. Third prize is you get $50 towards coupon, basically, toward anything in the merchandise store. A hat, a Relationship School shirt, a mug, a tank, that kind of thing, a hoodie, all right? Okay, guys, these instructions are in the show notes in plain detail. So if you need more instruction, go to the show notes, all right? Okay, thanks for playing, everybody. We will see you here in Boulder, Colorado, I hope. And I look forward to serving you some amazing tools on how to embrace conflict with my wife, Ellen, and our team of awesome relational warriors. Talk soon.